Michelle, this is Michmash. I am filming today my May and June wrap-up because I didn't get a chance to film my May wrap-up at the end of May because I was moving, and I talked about that a lot, so I just want to move on because I have read 5 books in each month, so I have a lot to talk about. The weird thing is, the books I read at the beginning of May feel like forever ago, so I'm not even sure if I'll be able to, remember them very well, but I'm going to try. Okay, so the first book I read in May was Slaughterhouse-Five by Vonnegat. I was not expecting to like this book very much, but I actually did. It took me a little bit to get into it, but by the end I really enjoyed it and liked the way that the style of writing for the story. I thought it was really good. Honestly, I can't even really remember it that much, but I did really like it, and I think I recommend this. I think it reminded me of Catch-22, which I wasn't able to get through the first time, but reading this and enjoying it inspired me to give Catch-22 another chance, and maybe going into it with different expectations will help me like it more. So the next book I read in May was Illuminated by Amie, Kaufman, and Kristoff. Got it from the library. I did not like this book very much, and I have mentioned it in a couple of videos that I didn't really like it. I know some people love it, and they were just... it seems like a lot of people liked it for the format of the book, which was exciting, but once I got into it, I felt like there was just no substance behind the format. And if you don't know, the format is the whole book is told in different video transcripts and chat conversations and pictures and just different funky ways of writing, which is cool, but if there's no good story behind it, then it's just not even worth it. So I just couldn't get into it. I literally did not care. I gave Illuminae a 2 out of 5 stars. So after reading Illuminae, I was pissed off about wasting my time reading that entire book, and I tried to read some more books that I would be really interested in. And so I read The Interestings by Meg Wolitzer. I absolutely love this. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. This is the story of a group of friends who meet at summer camp when they're teenagers, and it follows almost the rest of their lives through different relationships and struggles and kids and success and failure and jobs, and I just loved it. I realized through reading this book that I absolutely love stories of people's lives, which it doesn't seem like that much of a revelation, but it kind of was to me. So I really, really recommend this book if you are into stories of people's lives and the good things and bad things that can come. Yeah, I just absolutely loved it, so I'd love to hear if you've read this and what you thought of it. Really glad I picked that one up. So then I read My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Kind of a similar story to The Interestings. Not a story, but type of book, I guess. It is a series of 4 books. I've only read the first one so far, but it's a series of 4 books that follows a couple of friends throughout their whole lives. So the first book is their childhood and youth, and I liked it. I wasn't as... I didn't identify with the characters as much as I did in The Interestings. I actually did not identify with them, especially in the beginning when they're 2 kids. These 2 girls are very competitive towards each other. I didn't like that, but it was still a really interesting book, and I'm really glad I read it. I'm excited to read the next ones. The book ended on a really sad note, so I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm not sure if it deserves as much hype as it's getting around, but I really did enjoy the writing style, and it was nice to read a book set in Italy, which I haven't really read too many books about. I've been there, but not quite to Naples, where this book is set, and it was so beautiful. I really want to go back to Italy. I gave My Brilliant Friend a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Sternman by Elizabeth Gilbert. This was the start of a few books that I read that had nothing to do with plot, basically. It was mostly just a character study. So this book obviously is written by the author of Eat, Pray, Love, who, I don't know why, but I just love her books and her writing style. I love the way she dives deep into her research of a topic or an area, and I feel like I learn a lot and I'm inspired by that so much from her writing. So I made it a goal to read all of her books that she's written. So this was one I picked up at a used book sale. This is about a girl who's 18 and she lives in this tiny little remote island off Maine that is basically populated by lobster fishermen. And as you like read the story, like nothing really happens, and there isn't even that much character development. It's not like she really changes or anyone really changes throughout the book, but you just kind of get to like scratch away at the characters, and throughout the book you just learn about them more. I just found really interesting and really fascinating. I really liked it. It wasn't a life-changing book, but there were several lines out of it that just really spoke to me. So I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm glad I read it. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone because it's about lobster fishing and this girl who is trying to discover what she wants to do with her life, basically. I don't know, I just thought it was really interesting. And I love how Elizabeth Gilbert researched everything about lobsters, and I thought that was really cool. The next book I read was called Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty, and I liked it. It was a fast-paced book. I give it 4 out of 5 stars again. It was actually really funny. I wasn't expecting that. It's kind of like a dark humor. This is a story of basically right off the get-go, something horrible happened this one night. And it kind of goes back in time, and the policeman or the detective is interviewing all the different parents at this kindergarten school. I found that the whole story was like leading up to this big event at the end, and there were a few times where I felt like, okay, like maybe it's a little bit too much build-up. Is it going to be disappointing? Is it going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I knew that, but actually it wasn't disappointing. I thought there was a lot of build-up, but it worked out. And basically everything that was in the book had a reason for being there. Everything was tied together really nicely, which I love when that happens. So yeah, I really recommend it if you're looking for something kind of funny and dark and a whodunit mystery. It was good. It actually had some like serious, it wasn't just fluffy, it was well written and had some serious points to it. So I really liked that one. I started Big Little Lies in June, and then this book. This is Outline by Rachel Cusk. This woman in this story goes to Greece to teach a writing course, and along the way she meets 10 different people and just talks to them. This was another one of those character study books and no plot. I thought it was so interesting. I just love the writing style. I definitely want to check out if Rachel Cusk has done anything else, or if she does anything else, I'll definitely check it out. I love, and this is another thing I realized about my reading habits, I love quirky characters, finding out little things about people that I either identify with or is just really unique and interesting. So I loved this. And I wanted to read this quote from here because I think this is something that booktubers will relate to. As it happened, I was no longer interested in literature as a form of snobbery or even of self-definition. I had no desire to prove that one book was better than another. In fact, if I read something I admired, I found myself increasingly disinclined to mention it at all. What I knew personally to be true had come to seem unrelated to the process of persuading others. I did not any longer want to persuade anyone of anything. I just thought that was interesting for booktubers because we are kind of trying to persuade others of the books that we read, and I just thought someone might find that interesting. I give that a 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, my battery's flashing already, and I have 3 more books to talk about, so let's do this quick. Next, A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. Again, kind of another character study book. This is a novel, but it's kind of more a series of short stories, and I absolutely loved this. And each short story is kind of lengthy. You really get to know that character, and then they all intertwine. Like, all the characters are somehow related to each other, but they're always flipping back and forth into different time periods and different settings. And this won the Pulitzer Prize, and I definitely see why. There were parts that drove me to tears because it was so touching, and there was parts that made me laugh. I just really, really liked it. There's this whole chapter that's set in, or like that's written in slideshow format, and I love that one. It was kind of about, it kind of talked about autism, and it was such a cool way to represent that. Loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl by Mona Awad. I didn't really like this book, to be honest. I picked it up hoping to find a diverse read, which it kind of was, but I don't know, I feel a little bit awkward talking about this because being overweight is such a personal thing, and I don't want to put any judgment on that or how this character should have acted or anything like that. Like, being fat is so personal and there's so many reasons, and I don't want to place any judgment on that or say that that's right or wrong or anything. This book was kind of, again, short vignettes about her life, but I just found them kind of sad. And even when she loses a bunch of weight and becomes skinny, she's still not a happy person, and she's still she never has any self-confidence, and it was just kind of sad and it never got better, which, I mean, I don't need a happy ending in all my books, but I just found it kind of sad, and I felt like the writing, like, it just missed something. I didn't really ever get connected to it, so I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. If you're looking to read something that's diverse about an overweight character, this could be a good place to start, but I don't know. And then last, Vinegar Girl by Anne Tyler. I picked this up because I had heard mixed reviews, and I am on the negative side. I give this a 2 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed reading most of it, but near the end, and kind of scattered throughout the book, there was a lot of stereotypes written into this book, and it was just kind of like every time I'd read one, I'd be like, whoa, did she actually just say that? So this is a retelling of The Taming of the Shrew. I had never read the original play. I've watched 10 Things I Hate About You, which I liked. And so I kind of felt like I was reading 10 Things I Hate About You. It's quite similar in some ways, but also the main premise is this girl's father is a lab, like a scientist, and his main lab assistant is going to be kicked out of the country, out of America, because his visa's expiring, so her dad is like, can you please marry my lab assistant? So, and at first she doesn't want to, and then she agrees to marry him, but there was like comments that there was like literally one quote, can't find the quote right now, but it's literally said, she wore, like most older Asian women, a outfit that could have been for a man, something like that, and it was just like, you know what most older Asian women wear? Things like that. And then about women, the very last not motivational, but like the ultimate speech at the end of the book is like so anti-feminist, and the whole rest of the book though was trying to be so like cutting edge and modern, and it felt like forced almost, and then totally undercut by the last speech where she says that where men have it really hard and they're a whole lot less free than women are when you think about it. No, you can't write things like that in 2016. It's just, you just can't. So that made me really, really just like it. So I gave it 2 out of 5 stars because the story was kind of interesting to read, but there was just so many things wrong with it. She was trying to make the main character seem such an independent, free woman all the time, but then she says something like that and it totally messes with the whole thing. So anyway, sorry if this video was kind of all over the place. I was trying to be quick because the battery is flashing, and also I kind of forget some of these books, and it's been a long time since I've filmed a wrap-up like this. So let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, or if you are planning to read any of them. And I will see you in another video soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.